Hey, howdy, and ho, 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 and welcome to The Crazy Train, the comedy podcast with no rails. I'm your host, Rob Wade, and I'm joined by Blake Harmer.
Ho, ho, ho. Crazy Train.
Oh, very nice. I like that. And Brad Harmer Barnes.
So, this is Christmas.
What have you done?
What have you done?
Oh, I can't go back to the orphanage again.
You've made so many superheroes that day. I had a really stupid moment. You know when something pops into your head and you think it through and then you go, no, that's really fucking stupid.
Okay.
So I was thinking the other day, and I can't remember why it popped into my head, but I went, oh, I suppose if so-and-so's parents die, that make him an orphan. And I went, how can you be? Does that make you an orphan? I was like, how else could you become one? How? Because everybody has parents.
Fuck you, brain. Stop quitting.
Seriously, I'm trying to concentrate on driving. It's just like, hey, stupid thought. Oh, that sounds like.
That seems legitimate. Crash.
I have not explored the ramifications of. That would
You're
be
listening to Rob's Black Box.
Why does it have an intro?
Reasons.
So if you've never heard The Crazy Train before, what you're in for is some friends shooting the breeze. We come in, we sit down, we start talking, and nobody knows where The Crazy Train goes. So if that sounds like your bag, then jump on board with us, and hopefully you'll enjoy it as much as we do, because we really fucking do.
Yeah.
If it's not your bag, thank you for listening.
Stick a spoon up your ass.
Listen to the Gamescast instead.
Exactly. If you like video games, although there's not really any promise that'll stay on topic. It's been known.
And we've also been known to flow into one show and out the other.
Yeah, that's also true. Thankfully, I've got the order the right way around now. That solo show was enough to sort that out. Yeah. So how's everybody doing? Good?
Yeah. Cool. Checks out on iTunes.
Yeah, nice. So we're on Podbean now. I don't know, probably. So, Brad, you've not been on for a little while.
No. Sorry.
That's all right. I'm just remarking upon it.
I fell off and had to run along the tracks to catch back up again.
Yeah.
But there are no rails.
No,
I run on the tracks.
Oh.
The sleepers are still there. There's just no rails.
Okay.
It's a fucked up train.
Yeah, it is rather. I mean, that's pretty much fair. I mean, we haven't got any iTunes reviews, but I bet that's what they'd say. Yeah, it's a rare occasion where we don't have any new iTunes reviews.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think there's anything major happened. I've just been unavailable on recording days.
It's happened.
Also, I have a small child, which means I will intend to turn up to a recording session and instead have to sit on my bed while a midget sits on my chest screaming in my face for 3 hours.
I don't think they... Can you call them...
Then I've got a babysit as well.
I was going to say, can you call them midgets? Because technically they're just not finished growing.
Yeah.
With midgets...
I mean, you can get...
I realise that's not the term.
I believe babies prefer the term little people.
Yeah. Oh, they think they're people. Also babies. I kid. I'm trying to look at when you were last on, Brad, and it looks like it was quite a while.
It's probably about 6 months, I think.
49. So that would have been the episode.
49 months?
No, as in... well, actually, in Crazy Train
Crazy
terms,
Train, that's probably
7
about
episodes
a year.
is about a year. But yeah, last time you were on, I think, was with you, me and Omer, and it was an episode all about fatherhood, which obviously I had tons to contribute to.
I've got a feeling I've done one since then.
I don't know. I'm having a look now, and the only problem I've got is the spreadsheet's a little bit hard to read.
Maybe not.
Hang on, according to this, you're on 55.
It was.
My brain's just broken.
Well, thank you for joining us.
How can you be an orphan? How? Orphan?
Were they on the episode about
orphans? Was it on the
orphans?
things for underrated episodes?
Yes, thank you.
Or overrated.
Fucking hell, yes.
It's either the underrated or the overrated.
It's the overrated one.
Yeah.
Yes. At some point we'll do the underrated one, don't worry.
Yeah, we could do it now if you want.
Oh, that's also fine. We haven't really had a chance to source it from the community at that point, because that's the thing about preparing topics.
Right, communist.
Yeah.
Just some of these damn Pinko podcasts. Like we don't have enough of those.
Yes. .tumblr.
So it's been all right. So it's not been that long since you were last on, but
it felt longer than it. And it's nice to know I've been missed.
Well, yeah, and I do kind of.
One of the best ones.
The reason I keep it is because I remark upon it. It's been a while since I've seen this person.
I'm back.
Yeah, well, there you go.
Yeah,
I'm sure everybody's.
I love doing this show. So
this is it. Yeah. I love doing it too. You know what I've realised I like about it? I was thinking about this.
Is it an excuse for us to hang out?
That too. Yeah. That's another one. But one of the things I really like about it is it captures the time period in a very final, permanent way that can never be.
Do you ever go back and listen to old episodes?
Yes.
It's a weird nostalgia trip, isn't it?
Very.
Possibly more so for us as the performers on it than as an audience. I don't know, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, that's probably true.
May conjure times of when you first heard the episode, I suppose. Kind of like an old song will take you back to being teenage again.
Yeah, that's true. Do you have like an album like that? You know, like one that sort of takes you back?
I have weird ones. It's weird to me, I mean, because I've got albums I'd listen to all the time when I was a teenager, like Nevermind the Bollocks and Downward Spiral and stuff like that. I was just playing all the time. But I get weird ones, and it's almost like you get little flash memories almost. Like The Exploited Punk's Not Dead. I remember I bought that from the record store in Chatham and just brought it home. And I can instantly recall the first time I heard it when I listened to it, but I'm not. The memory is just me sat in my room with the sun coming through the window, listening to the record. But some bits of that record, and I remember that exact moment. Yeah. It's really a strange one.
It's very odd. I say it would be nice if people kind of get that same experience from this. That would be really cool. But it's just I was thinking, like,
God, someone's losing their virginity for Crazy Train. Can you imagine?
I try not to. I think a court order says I mustn't.
Oh, yeah. I mean, sometimes you can't control what's on in the background.
This is true. Yeah,
so,
sometimes,
some poor 17, 18-year-old got his girlfriend around his house for the first time.
Or boyfriend.
Yeah.
You do you, boo-boo.
Mind your banjo string.
So, so they got their partner for the first time. And they put some music on, and the music runs out, and it skips on to their podcasts, and it's us talking about things that are overrated.
I don't really get the whole appeal of Rick and Morty, and they're just like, this is really not doing it for me.
These guys just aren't clever enough.
Yeah, well, you have to have a really high IQ to understand.
Yeah, it's just like the law of averages say that's got to happen at some point.
Yeah, I think that's probably true.
Someone's going to be, in flagrante, and they'll just suddenly skip on to a Gamescast or Crazy Train, and suddenly we're background to fucking.
Yeah, this is true.
Also the episode title.
That won't be able to get past iTunes, but I'll try and work a way around it.
Background to Lovin'.
Background to Lovin'. There we go.
Cool.
That works.
Job done.
Yeah, nice. Boom. Nice. Boom. That could also be the sex transaction. Yeah, love it. Works. Boom. Good night. Yeah.
Done now. Bye.
Yeah. I don't know why it popped into my head. I suppose it's just because the subjects we talk about. Like, I remember once there was an episode we did, and not to kind of hang on it too much, but we did it like a week. I think it was like a week before the US presidential election. But the episode came
I
up.
accused you of
no.
being stupid to saying Trump was going to win.
That's not why. That's not what I'm talking about.
I feel the need to bring that up.
That's fine.
Because,
that's fine.
We were all.
You weren't the first person to say I was crazy.
No. We're just too many optimistic people in the world, obviously.
Huge.
Yeah.
We've all got to hold on to a glimmer of hope,
well,
even if it's then dashed on the rocks.
Yeah.
Well, apparently some of us don't share that compulsion because nailed it. Yeah. But the weird thing about it was that the episode was recorded before and released after.
Yes, I'm aware. It made me look very stupid.
But I did put in the show notes it was recorded before. But it's the weird thing of like you were listening to it and you were almost. It sounds really kind of weird and slightly pretentious, but you were almost time traveling because you were going back and like. Oh man, it's weird. So much can change in a week.
In a year, America hasn't managed to organise a slow drive past a book depository.
I don't know if you get many of those anymore.
I don't know.
Maybe they're just invited into Amazon's warehouse.
Drive past this Nook factory.
Yeah, apparently they still make those.
What happened to the sniper? Oh no, they shipped him.
What, you mean they wrote fan fiction about him?
Man, words have changed. Yeah. Just meanwhile, somebody at home is sitting there going, "We can get the sniper tomorrow if we take the prime trial." I've developed this kind of compulsion to have fun at social media's expense.
Do you know what might be fun, actually? Going back to early Crazy Trains, or Gamescast where we made predictions and seeing how wrong we were, like calling Omar up and saying, "So the geek cinema bubble's going to burst in 2015, is it?"
Yeah, so
because Infinity War's out in 6 months,
and that might do it. Well, so he might end up being right, delayed right, you know.
I think it's interesting. I haven't seen him announce any movies after Infinity War.
It's interesting, isn't it? I haven't spotted that.
There's part
my
1 and 2.
Is
either they only had the movies planned for so long. Maybe a contract's got to be renewed and they've not thought
possibly
that far ahead. Or we now know, as of the time of recording, there are a lot of strong rumours that Disney's in talk with 20th Century Fox about buying.
In which case, that changes the landscape of all the Marvel movies in production. Yeah.
As Spike said, they could put the 20th Century Fox fanfare back at the start of Star Wars.
Yeah,
they won't, but they can dream. And
it's fine.
Yeah.
You can have it if you want.
None of us noticed it wasn't there.
Ultimately, my Blu-rays didn't catch fire when it wasn't there,
and none of us noticed it wasn't there.
So once the main fanfare is what's important.
Yeah.
Until Rogue One came out, and then we didn't care about that either.
No,
we did at the time. People were saying
the first time you watched Rogue One, it felt weird.
That's fair enough.
The opening jar, there's something about the way it was cut often felt a bit strange.
Yeah, but
I think
once you watch it the first time, you go into the second time you watch it, all that stuff. So Tarkin's in it.
Yeah, talking
Princess
Star
Leia's
Wars.
in it.
We're not treading on anyone else's podcast.
They can. What are they going to do? Fire me? I'm a volunteer.
I did enjoy Rogue One, but it took me a long time, and it was almost like I've been primed and kind of knew that it was going to be a different.
You got one day shipped.
Yeah, and I got shot, and you've been told again and again it's a different one.
Yeah.
The previews have come out as everyone saying, these are very different, and even going it took me a while to get my head around that.
This is different,
and that's okay.
Yeah,
it took kind of until Donnie Yen's character turning up to me to kind of settle into the tone of it. So the first half an hour, I was sitting there going, I'm not sure I like this film.
The first act is all over the place as well.
And but I was just sitting there going, I don't know, I want to like this film, but I'm not sure I do.
And then it starts
by the end of it,
I
do genuinely like Rogue One. It's
good movie.
Yeah,
I watched it again the other day. I love it.
It does do a lot of jumping around at the beginning.
The first act is, to be honest, if there's one criticism I have of the film, the first act is by necessity a mess because it's jumping all over the place, getting context set up.
It's the kind of thing which works as a book and didn't really work as a film. If it happened in a book, jumping around the first few chapters, you go, they're kind of setting all the threads to tie together here. And as a film, it kind of
feels very jarring. Yeah, for sure. So I found this thing where I've developed this compulsion to fuck with people via social media, because that is some of the most fun, and this is all kind of innocent. It's trolling, but it's innocent. Yep. So I don't know if you guys saw this on Instagram today. They're in London today at the time of recording. They had an animatronic polar bear in Piccadilly Circus.
His name is Boris Johnson.
Oh man, it's got my vote. He's an animatronic. What you say?
Yeah. So he'll never be Prime Minister. Oh shit! I've dated this one.
Standing for Svalbard.
So there were people. So there were people stood in front. We didn't.
I read that one.
We spotted it about 20 minutes.
Place for the book.
Not had it read to him.
Prick.
Yeah.
It was audible, so yeah, they was read to me.
Yeah. So about 20 minutes before it was unveiled, we caught a glimpse of it out because our office is kind of overlooking Piccadilly Circus. So we had a look over the thing. We're like, oh, what's that going on over there? And there's this kind of trailer, like one of the ones that. Sorry,
Blake just reached under the desk and pulled up a chocolate chip cookie the size of his face.
For some reason, that's amusing to us, but it's just tickled my funny bone. Yeah. So
that bit.
That's fine. Might just leave it in. Who knows? Who cares?
Whenever anyone says cut that bit, you have to leave it in, or it's not funny.
Yeah, almost.
Of course, I'll listen back and go, "Oh, I cut it."
Oh. He listened.
Bastard. Anyway, yeah.
Agreeable son of a bitch. Yeah. So, about 20 minutes before it got unveiled, there's a little kind of trailer. No, the kind you hook up to like in the state car.
Yeah.
With a mass in it, like a white mass.
Yeah.
And we're watching. There's like people in red jumpers stood at around the edge of it, dancing and singing what I presume are Christmas carols.
Because it's some sort of cult.
Entirely possible. Yeah. To be honest, we couldn't hear what they were singing. For all we know, it was records played backwards.
Yeah.
Which is hard to sing. So kudos. If you're listening, you mad bastards. So about 20 minutes go by, and we're watching it just kind of transfix, and we're like, is that a polar bear in that trailer? We're like. And somebody said, what, a real one? I was like, no, of course not a fucking real one. For one, they're endangered. And two, it would be boiling alive. Because even the not entirely uncommon British weather of December is somewhat removed from the fucking... whichever one they're from. The North or South Pole, I forget.
North,
thank you. It's penguins who are south, isn't it? Yeah, there you go. I always get those two mixed up, which is why I'm banned from zoos. Because I keep throwing fish at polar bears.
I'm sure they would eat penguins.
Drink Coke. Yeah. So I took a little video of the little animatronic polar bear doing its thing, and all it's doing is kind of moving around and like moving its head around.
On Instagram, which is
at Rob Wade Vision. And I decided I would play with, how some people just like things based on hashtags, and when I say, obviously that's kind of the nature of social media, that's fine. I mean more in terms of they only like it because you put a hashtag in they're searching for, and you can usually tell that kind of person. So I decided to throw in a couple of extra ones. So the caption reads, "This polar bear was unveiled about an hour ago outside the office. It's about to be taken away and has yet to maul a single tourist. Hashtag some bullshit right there. Hashtag part-time bastards. Hashtag London. Hashtag Piccadilly. Hashtag Piccadilly Circus." And sure enough, it's received more interest than my fucking HeroClix series. Yeah. But this is
hashtag like Piccadilly Circus trends more than hashtag HeroClix. I'm shocked.
Yeah, well, I suppose.
Yeah, I like fucking with people on social media, especially. I'm a big fan of tabletop gaming.
Yep,
absolutely love it.
Yeah, mentioned it once or twice.
Yeah, but every episode is someone's first episode.
Yeah, this is true.
Same as every episode is probably someone's first time.
How are you holding in there, Jim?
Yeah. I thought you were going to say every episode is somebody's last episode.
This is for all the lovers out there. This is Brad talking board games on social media.
Get them off, ladies. Or men.
Yeah. The Crazy Train is also equipped with Big Jim Slade.
Wow, what an obscure John Landis reference. That's what we like. And if you're in any board game group on Facebook, there's a lot of time spent suppressing yourself from screaming "Get Gud" at them, and a lot of time suppressing yourself from just typing RTFM on loop because they ask the most fucking basic.
Yeah.
Like, if you're getting this wrong, have you even tried reading the rulebook type questions?
Yeah.
As a quick aside, my favourite rule ever is in Castle Ravenloft, which is use the box to store the game's contents.
That's a bit like in the gameplay tips they flash up in the loading screens on shooters.
Yeah.
Duke Nukem Forever had one that was it Duke Nukem or Borderlands that had one that was like, in order to stay alive, try not to get hit so much. It's like, yeah, I mean, fair enough, but
TLDR, get Gud.
Yeah, exactly. They've just compressed it for the Reddit generation.
I tried doing, which backfired horribly. There was a game came out earlier this year called Anachrony. I don't know a lot about the game, but I recognise people mentioning the title a lot. And someone put up in the board game group, does anyone know if Anachrony is coming out in Britain? And I replied, Anachrony for the UK, it's coming sometime, maybe. And the reply was, does that include the expansions? I am wasted on you people.
Yeah, that's happened to me before.
Although, who's the troller in that?
Yeah, you've got to...
Who's the troll? The troll
you've got to wonder sometimes whether people are genuinely stupid or you're the one being taken for a ride.
Yeah. It's annoying.
It's like, they can't be that... stupid,
but
sometimes I've made a joke and people think I'm genuinely being stupid.
Yeah, but it happens to me too, and I realised this in the last couple of weeks. I've changed. I'm still in the same job, but I've changed teams. So I work in a different department of the same company, and I have obviously I have new teammates, completely different.
To talk rebels.
I have a completely different set of teammates and all that stuff. So for the first few days, it's a mix of. That was a deep cut. That is too deep a cut for this particular crowd. Dial it back and just kind of make the joke more accessible. And sometimes it's just, I can't get away with that joke here because they're looking at me like I've just killed a puppy.
Crazy.
Killing a puppy. Crazy legal disclaimers. Nobody's actually killed a puppy that we know of in the room. Hashtag moving on, blah, blah, blah. Hashtag part-time bastards. Speaking of puppies, we dog sat at the weekend. So Jen's parents have got a new dog. It's made me more of a cat person.
Oh, really?
And it's not because he's a bad dog or anything like that.
But he's a bad cat.
He's a terrible cat. Actually, having said that, he's not a terrible cat. He sits around and does fuck all day. But he's affectionate, so there's that, I guess. So he's not a good cat in that respect. No.
It's around does fuck all day. He's either a cat or an E14 bullpen.
Bullpen. You can rely on them to move if you wave red in front of them. So it's not because the dog is a bad dog. He's a perfectly good dog. You know, he's very affectionate. He's very well behaved, considering he is a puppy. So he's a young dog. So they have a word for that, Rob. What's a baby cat called? A kitten. You know this. Come on, you stupid bastard. Are they orphans? If no, come on,
kittens.
Yeah. Be more puppy.
Yeah.
So this dog,
they're fucking exhausting.
Yeah.
Yeah. You just we were running.
So much beans.
Yeah, it's just like a bean factory. It's like Dr. Robotnik's mean bean machine. You know.
Wow, I thought the Kentucky Fried Movie was an obscure reference.
So but he's just. We went when we first got there. We were looking after him for like 4 hours, I think, in total. It's not like a hugely long time.
Yeah,
but we got there, and so we sort of chatting to Jen's parents and stuff, and they're getting ready to go out. So we thought, we'll take him for a walk now and let him do his thing. And when he comes back, when we come back, he'll sleep through the day, and I'll play my Switch. Fine, that's pretty much my plan for most things. Hope whoever I'm with falls asleep and play Switch. Jen is furious.
Parenting 101.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
You should get a Switch. It'll probably suit you.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, I've played The Witcher in 3 fucking months because she won't sleep, but there we go.
Yeah, there's that, yeah.
Ben bought a Switch purely because he found it very difficult to play on the PlayStation and that anymore. So
yeah, this is it.
I think the idea of having a handheld would made it easier.
Yeah, it's a thought. Yeah. So we're walking him, and he's just doing his thing, being a dog. I've never known a creature that pisses so much as a dog. Honestly, I know some of it's territory marking stuff, but fuck me, like if I did that, I would probably just have I'd have no mass left. Right. There's that too. Yeah, just going up a tree. It's like, no, it's all right. I don't know any better.
I'm done.
I'm a young dog. I mean, puppy.
I'm done. I'm now a dried husk.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
or dried husky.
Yeah, that's good. That's
what type of dog was it? Did you
Jack Russell.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, it's adorable.
They are notable for being excitable and full of beans. So.
Yes, this is it. But at the same time, we got back, and he started sleeping and stuff, and then it's one of those weird moments where Jen was like, "We're gonna have to walk him again." I was like, "Why is that?" And he said, no creature that whose farts are this disgusting doesn't need a shit anytime soon. It was just one of those things.
Parenting 101.
Yeah, well. So we went for another walk, and that one took fucking forever. Like it seemed to drag on for
over the
hours.
hills and dales.
Seriously, and yet when we, after he'd done his thing, we turned a corner and we're outside Jen's road. I was like, where did we go? Because I've been walking for some time. It's like
there and back again.
Yeah.
A dog walk by Rob.
Seriously, but it's like Lord of the Rings, except they just went round the outside of the Shire 86 times, and then Mordor was next door. Or more next door.
It's more like the Hobbit movies, and it banged on and on and on and didn't actually solve anything.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. But,
that's a steaming bit of dog shit towards the end.
Yeah, fair.
Billy Connolly wasn't that bad.
The third Hobbit movie is a terrible, terrible Middle-earth movie and a really good Warhammer fantasy movie.
I like that. I would go with that. It's a shame because I haven't seen Warcraft, but I can only imagine it's a little bit better.
The other way I've said is I love the Lord of the Rings movies.
Yeah.
With a couple of little things I would change or I'm not 100% happy with.
Yeah.
The Hobbit movies I mostly dislike with a couple of little bits I really like.
Oh, okay. So it's more the exception rather than the rule.
Opposite. I don't know what happened, but. Yeah,
I think you just didn't enjoy them as much.
Maybe, I think maybe I overanalyze these things, and really, it's just I didn't really get on with it.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, so, there's all sorts of explanations for this sort of thing. Sometimes things are just shit, and there's nothing you can, and there's nothing you can do because you will always find it shit, and that's fine. Some people love it, and more power to them.
I think that's what I hated about doing film studies at uni, is people felt a need to extrapolate.
Yeah.
Far more than was ever intended to be in the context anyway.
I remember hearing an anecdote about that recently, and it was somebody who said that there was a film director who got asked, I really loved that scene, and it really felt like you were trying to do this, and he was like, oh no, I just thought it looked cool.
Yeah,
it's that sort of thing.
As a creative type person, I absolutely believe it.
Just anybody who's kind of reading into this more of like, oh, well, it's a satirical take on modern society. No, it's just a bunch of mates talking shit. Yeah. That's all it is. That's all it is.
Always has been, and always will be.
And always will be, yeah, and this is it. And, I don't think anybody who listens and, I mean, also the phrase.
State of you, yeah.
Yeah, there's a few. There's certainly people.
Yeah.
I don't think any of them would have it any other way. Personally,
No, sure.
That's the impression I get. We have a modest but loyal fan base, which is always nice, and I will do my best not to abuse that too much. No promises.
Now watch me unbox these 87 HeroClix.
Please.
If you wouldn't mind. Would you
Okay, I
kindly?
lied. This is not the worst thing to lose your virginity to.
Yeah, you can unbox my HeroClix.
Yeah. Oh, baby, I found some nice mood music. I thought I'd listen to day 17 of the Graviday feature. I heard a fantastic...
Oh, unspent.
I thought you said
only
you
a
were
minute and a half.
indomitable.
I only thought it was a minute and a half.
You're fucking impervious.
Well,
Talk about pushing damage.
Toughness.
I heard a fantastic
If you don't play HeroClix, all this is very funny.
Yeah, it's absolutely thrilling for the listeners, I know. But so you haven't heard this yet because it's not been published at the time of recording. But the latest Gamecast goes on for about 25 to 30 minutes on Warhammer 40k and HeroClix. And at some point, I just interject to go, I'm sure none of this is thrilling for the listeners, but fuck it, because at that point we were having a lovely chat, and I just felt no need to. I felt no need to cut it off.
Yeah,
it's
it's WizKids bought a Games Workshop license.
They did.
Yeah. We'll cover this more in the Gamescast, I think.
Yes, I'm sure we will. Spike's
For
got
now,
into
it was a time of walking dogs.
yes, the walking dogs. A lot of things don't happen, and you argue on a farm. I don't know.
The similarities are there.
Yeah.
I stopped watching about there.
What's really annoying is my Walking Dogs comics caught fire. But
Let's just agree that the Telltale Walking Dogs is far superior.
this is true. Yeah, although the performance is terrible, it's just it runs like dog shit.
Ugly as the flies buzzing around it.
Yeah, indeed. But yeah, it's made me the amount of energy you have to expend to just do the basics with a dog has made me more of a cat person by association.
So cats are quite low maintenance.
Yeah,
really.
for the most part.
Feed twice a day.
Leave to own
occasionally.
Yeah, leave to own devices most of the time.
Yeah.
That's fine. I can deal with that. It's like having
Sometimes they want attention, sometimes they won't, and they will let you know either way.
Exactly, and it's again parenting 101.
Yeah,
to a point.
Yeah, to a point. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe not. It's not a carbon copy because obviously we have to deworm our
down.
Yeah, deworm our infant.
But Kat always mentions that she would like a dog, but I always said,
Sweet irony.
well, yeah. Well, no, I've always
Lucky
said
her
to
name's
her
not
when I
Chinchilla.
would get a dog, but our lifestyle would have to change, and I don't think it's suitable for
No
a
more
dog.
sex parties.
I don't think it would be fair on the dog.
No,
so,
there's no more sex parties for you.
Depends
Yeah,
what
I
sort
know.
of dog it is, I guess.
Yeah.
If it's a great day, they can just take themselves for a walk.
Or a drive.
Bye, dog. Have a nice drive.
Yeah. Scoob, take the wheel. Fucking John Woo's Scooby-Doo. Yeah.
Can't be worse than his other films.
Yeah. So we were chatting before the show, and one of the things we were going to bring back up was not that kind of bringing back up. So we were talking in the pre-show a little bit. It's a little bit depressed strike for circumstances I won't go into in depth. But one of the conversation topics that spun out of it, which I do like the sound of, is what song would you want played at your funeral? Because obviously everybody has to have one. Well, I don't have to, but everybody has the opportunity to have one at some point
You
in
can
there.
just toss yourself over the side of a boat if
Exactly, or you can opt out. You can opt out. It's like organ donation.
Yeah, I guess that seems to be a trend recently. David Bowie famously said he didn't want a funeral. And I know, I've heard from friends and family say a couple of people haven't had funerals. But that seems quite a recent thing to me.
I've not really noticed. No, maybe
it's just maybe it's just me then.
Or like a
maybe
pauper's
just-
funeral, you mean? Or-
Not like a pauper's funeral, Blake. No,
a pauper's funeral.
Yeah, where you don't really have a funeral, you pay for the cheapest possible thing, no one turns up.
Oh, pauper. Sorry.
Yeah,
I
not a
just said
porpoise.
pauper's funeral. Or it's like what, like a seal?
it's like burial at sea, but it gets fucking macabre.
As much as more than funerals already do. By the way, so seeing somebody off this mortal coil.
Anyway, I don't
That's
think
why I lost my job at the funeral director for asking questions like, "And how much viscera did you want on display?"
Is it really important that the head is attached?
it's my first day.
Yeah. But they didn't die of beheading. No, I know.
No.
I'm just making sure. I'm trying to be thorough, okay? Just indulge me. It's my first day. I just want to make sure I've ticked all the boxes.
One right leg and one left leg. Yes.
Inventory
Because we
report.
can shuffle.
Yeah. Inventory report. Inventory for Mr. Dobbs.
Yeah.
2 left feet.
What are the odds?
Must have been a hell of a dancer.
That is unusual.
Yeah, that is. Yeah, I'll give him that.
Yeah.
Exceptional circumstances, I'll fucking say. Danced himself to death.
You know, what songs you want played at your funeral? You've got 2 choices, basically, haven't you? You either got something downbeat and sad because it's a funeral,
or
something upbeat and ludicrous to fuck with people.
Or because it's like a celebration of life kind of thing. Yeah.
I'm not sure if I would go with a song. I would go...
I'll go with the complete audiobook of the Silmarillion, and no one's allowed to leave until it's finished.
The complete Sherlock Holmes as read by Stephen Fry.
No. I think...
And if you leave before Baskerville, so help you.
I was going to go along the lines of my click and play game and just have it end with "You've had enough fun," and then the curtains drop.
You've had enough, Blake.
You've had enough, Blake.
Woo! Womp womp.
Yeah.
Bibbidi bop death.
Fatality.
That send off was perfect.
Yeah, it's just that wasted and that noise when you're dying.
We'd try and do that for you, and the Audacity would crash at the last minute. And what would happen? Would you get just a cavalcade of video game noises simultaneously in the last 40 seconds?
Yeah, just because I want to then, if I am a spirit or whatever, just so I can look above at all my family going, "What the fuck?"
Am I right?
If everyone's afterlife is personal, I swear yours is just going to be flashing text that says "insert coin."
But luckily you have infinite continues here because you don't need to get God in heaven. That's why it's heaven.
It says dark heaven.
I'm back at the campfire.
Oh God, heaven designed by From Software. All the angels of this grotesque imagery. But they're all white, so it's fine.
Dear From Software, you like Lovecraft, we get it.
So, we've kind of gone from this into Blake in the simulation hypothesis, haven't we?
Yeah, kind of.
Which works. Every time Blake dies, he ends up like in the little valley in Bloodborne where he's got to go back to a time just before, only he's not quite as funny as he remembers being.
Yep.
Oh, I've got to find all my humour from when I last died.
Yeah, which is also doubly annoying because all your enemies respawn.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, duh. Yeah. From Software, developing the afterlife. Not even once.
From Software, get hilarious.
Yeah. I CD Projekt Red could probably design my afterlife because it would be fucking enormous and cheap.
Are you familiar with the simulation hypothesis?
I'm not, no.
Simulation hypothesis is the theory that the Matrix kind of touched on it in that we are living in a computer simulation of some extent. And the basic theory behind it, it's been extrapolated to the point like astrophysicists are saying, we're finding machine code at the far reaches of space.
Right.
All this kind of mathematical formula ties up like machine code.
Yeah.
And some quite clever guys like Elon Musk do support the simulation
now
hypothesis.
you say that, I remember hearing that.
Yeah, and the basic crux of it is if you take every single simulation that's ever been run, which is from academic simulations, scientific simulations, through to video games, through to paper games, every one of those, and it kind of then blends into parallel timeline theories. Every one of those is a universe.
Yeah.
Then the chance that we are in the real universe, the probability of that really goes down.
Yeah.
So it's actually statistically unlikely that we are the prime timeline.
I like that.
Is the
kind of entertaining
crux
as
of
an
simulation hypothesis.
Yeah.
And I thought about that for a while. I thought I really like that.
Yeah.
That works. And as it went on, I was like, well, we're probably because it's not some random game of Centipede's going to be the prime timeline.
No, it's not. No.
Is it?
Wait a minute.
And he crashes his car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's
that
actually
then
happening?
blends into Blake having to play Bloodborne after he dies.
What actually is happening is above us there's a game of Sims where they're playing a game going, look at this made up bullshit language I've made them speak. Except they're going flomp.
I've always said the theological implications of The Sims are terrifying.
Oh, for sure. Like,
It does show you how terrible a person you truly are.
Yeah, because it's like, in no world would you be like, we're going to put you in charge of this orphanage. Cool, I'm taking your diving board, I'm taking your swimming pool away and leaving the diving board.
We could do a fucking episode on fucked up shit all of us have done in The Sims.
We could do a video on it, I'm sure.
Like that time my daughter, due to a bug, got stuck in the swimming pool, and then I just moved house and left her behind.
Oh yeah, she couldn't get out at all, could she? I remember she just stayed in one spot,
just
staring at the screen. It was literally just
What have you done?
Staring. Just endless staring.
Daddy?
Right. Well, we told you to get out of the river.
Yeah.
You're going to, when you come out of the swimming
pool,
pool, you are going to military school. That's how bad it has got.
Pruny Death or military school. Yeah. I made a serial killer in The Sims once.
Go on.
It was just after the expansion where you could go downtown and meet people, and then you could go back to your house and you could phone them up and invite them over.
You made Patrick Bateman, didn't you?
Yeah, I made my serial killer. I went downtown, met people, came back, invited people over, and did the normal thing of walling them up in a 1x1 square.
The normal thing.
Well,
everyone
Sims
does.
No,
normal
hang on. No,
is-
if you're going to kill a sim, you wall them up in a 1x1 area until they die.
Yeah.
I'm
No, it's
not,
true.
I refuse to believe I'm alone.
Or
in
wall
that.
No,
them
that's
up
what worries me is you're right. That is the Sims
Oh,
normal.
I see.
Yeah. Or you wall them up in a slightly bigger place and surround them with fireplaces.
Jesus Christ, Buck.
Anyway, yeah, so he'd invite them
intervention.
over, wall this person up along with until they died, then take the urn out into the back. And if you dragged the urn out into the garden, it turned into a grave.
Right.
So you just have this basic house with a graveyard in the back garden. By the time this story had finished, he had 108 graves in his back garden.
Jesus.
The problem was, if you had a grave or an urn in The Sims, the ghost of the dead person would walk around the house at night.
Yes.
He had a house that was so haunted he couldn't sleep, went mad and died.
Yeah.
And I maintain that is the most metal thing anyone has ever done in The Sims.
It's the thing for me is, and what's annoying is, like you say, you're absolutely right. We've all done, like, just for the pure purposes of experimentation, we've all done ridiculous shit in The Sims to see what happens. The worst bloodbath I ever had in The Sims was not deliberate. So the idea was, it was just after The Sims 3. The expansion where you could start your own business.
Yep.
And the idea was going to be, I would start my own business, and I'd already kind of planned that 2 or 3 generations down the line, the great grandkids would inherit would have the capital built up.
Yeah.
That would be the plan. So I'm working my way through it, and one day the oven breaks down, and so the dad goes to fix it, electrocuted, dies. Or I guess the wife will sort it out. She's got a hire mechanic. Nope. Electrocuted. Also dies. Well, I guess I'll get the kids that would. Nope. Electrocuted, dies. Till I had one poor orphan girl who basically had a superhero origin story mapped out so well.
I guess this is how I become an orphan.
Yeah, exactly. Turns out you can. Who knew?
I remember having some pretty terrible families in our time, because I think we did make a child sweatshop once.
There may have been a certain amount of sleep deprivation, caffeine, and on my part, some drugs involved, which involved one guy living with a demon-possessed windmill.
Oh yeah, you went and started shouting at it all the time.
What? What?
It's just we put a windmill, it was like a garden ornament, crazy golf-style windmill.
Yeah.
And we put it in his back garden, and we just were so high on various things and sleep deprivation that was oh yeah, what about if there's a demon-possessed windmill?
Yeah, it was just us talking bollocks, and I think it just went that way.
Yeah, fair enough. Oh, it's like an early crazy train.
I kind of wish game streaming was a thing when we were at our Sims peak, to be honest.
I wish a lot of things were a thing when we were at our thing.
Do you know what I'm glad wasn't a thing when I was a teenager? YouTube and social media. Fuck me.
Oh my god, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
The cringy shit I'd have done.
Oh god,
Seriously.
yeah, seriously. I kind of weep for my I've younger family members, and this is not a knock on how they're being raised, because generally they are very well looked after and very happy, but they've already got Facebook accounts preempted, already set up with pictures of them every time they're tagged. Mm-hmm. And one day they're going to turn old enough to be given them as like a rite of passage thing.
Yeah.
And they've got this kind of, like you say, this back catalogue of cringe, just like, oh, well, look, I used to talk like a complete fucking simpleton when I was a child. Who knew?
Yeah, it just seemed
I can get
weird.
away with it now because there's no record of this except for one grainy home video where I'm doing ninja kicks in the background and keep adjusting my nutsack.
Yeah,
I was about 14.
we do have videos of us, but I must admit, whenever
I'm glad then. No,
whenever they get suggested of getting them out, I'm always
Dad
like,
doesn't know how to put them on Facebook.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but I remember
Facebook
there's a video we did around a few years ago of some 14-year-old gothy cringy, and it is quite a cringy video. There's these 3 goth friends lip syncing to an Evanescence song.
Oh God!
And do you remember that one? And I was just like,
yeah.
man, me and my 15-year-old friends would have done this had we had the capability.
Oh yeah, and I could go you one better, because I would have the same issue, but forget metal and add Savage Garden to the mix. And I'd be beating the shit out of myself. I'd be bullying me.
I'm on a vague promise to all of my Facebook friends, if I ever find a picture of 15-year-old punk Brad, including bondage trousers and blonde spiked hair, that I will put that online.
Okay,
that's kind of my
fair
promise
enough.
myself.
Yeah, there are a few like young photos of me doing the rounds on Facebook, and it's like there's nothing particularly.
But there is that one photo of Omen.
As a 35-year-old, I can look back at 15-year-old myself and go, "Oh, you twatty 15-year-old."
Yeah.
But I think when you're 25, looking back at 15, oh, that's a bit cringier.
Yeah, for sure.
Separation isn't there yet.
No, you can distinguish it because it's almost it's over half your life ago.
Yeah.
It's weird to think like there are people I know who are friends who I became friends with as an adult, but I've known nearly half my life. It's weird,
I have a weird age spread. There's one guy I was talking to, and he referred to Fat Planet by Left Field as old man's music. I was like, that's fucking weird. But on the other hand, you're 25. I guess that is more than half your life away.
Yeah, this is true.
Yeah, and then I said to my other friends, this guy just referred to Fat Planet as old man's music, and the thing is, they were too old to remember Fat Planet.
Yeah,
this
or
is
they
the,
just look
this
at
is
you
the
and go,
age spread I occupy.
Yeah, this is the funny thing is like because they either don't have any frame of reference or they look at you and go, yeah. Because there's no winning. It's like a zero-sum game. There's no.
I think maybe it's because pop music's so kind of ephemeral. It occupies a very short space of time.
For sure,
really.
and I think it's actually.
And there are classics that endure, but something like Fat Planet is locked in early mid-90s, really, whenever it came out.
Yeah, well, sure. I mean, I think it's one of those things. And I think actually it's becoming even more. There are certain kind of bands and stuff that can endure, that have endured sort of 50 plus years, like the Beatles are still in the public consciousness, and Led Zeppelin to a point. Like Led Zeppelin kind of seemed to have faded from relevance, apart from with musicians. Musicians still kind of think. Okay. But like Robert Plant was in the news the other day, and I was like, oh yeah, Robert Plant.
Yeah, remember him?
Like, yeah, exactly.
I love Robert Plants.
Yeah, exactly. They're easy on the watering. But. I can't.
Illegal disclaimers: do water Robert Plant regularly.
Yeah, it's true because he does.
A desiccated Muppet.
This is true. He does. Bless him. To be fair, he's done well to make it this long because he was alive in the 60s and 70s.
Even he's surprised he's outlived Bowie.
For sure. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure that's the case for most of them. I'm sure Keith Richards fucking counts his blessings every day. Or there's a picture of him in the loft that looks fucking amazing.
Yeah, I actually think Keith Richards died many times ago. I think it's still the drugs working out of its system.
Maybe.
Things that should never have happened. Iggy Pop should never have had to go to Lou Reed and David Bowie's funerals.
Yeah, indeed.
That's fucked up that was a thing that happened.
But I was thinking about it, and I don't know if this is just because, as you say, it's kind of we're almost detached from that because we're grown-ups in air quotes. Yeah. But I look at the music that's doing the rounds now, and apart from the bands I've already heard of before that point, I can't see anybody who I think could be talked about in 20, 30 years, or even 10. Whereas obviously in every decade there's somebody who's stood the test of public consciousness over time.
I had a very similar conversation with kind of tying into Christmas as well. I had a chat with my wife a couple of days ago, and she was like,
my wife.
Because Ed Sheeran's latest single, which is out, I forget the title of this, but there's something about the production and the cadence of it which instantly makes me think he's going for Christmas number one. It's a very Christmas number one sounding
I know
song.
what you mean, yes.
Yeah, and I said, I think he's going for Christmas number one. And she said, I feel like the modern stuff doesn't quite have the same feel of the Christmas classics. And I was like, that's just the way those things evolve. Because
at the time they were probably seen as cynical,
back in the 70s, someone was listening to Slade and going, "Oh, it's not like the Christmas classics, is it?"
Yeah.
And it's weird. Yeah, it's
other
just,
search engines are available.
Yeah. But it is weird, but we do, and it's not just my wife saying anything. So we do kind of get into that frame of I don't see how the modern stuff will endure. And that's the fun part is finding out sometimes.
Yeah,
that
sure.
said, though,
living long enough to find out would be good.
Yeah.
I notice we get less songs actually singing about singing about Christmas because you get some where they're like. I think X Factor it was a big problem because they're just singing a song that
put some bells at the end, put
the bells on it, show them crying. Number one.
Yeah. To be fair, if they recorded that, so the final was in July, it wouldn't be a Christmas number one thing.
No. There was a thing in the mid-90s which both the Spice Girls and the 17 did, which was not have a Christmas themed song, but be clever enough to wear a coat in the music video.
Well, to be fair, the E17 stand the other day,
on bells,
it
doesn't
has
it?
bells. Yeah.
Do you know something that's going to really enhance? My least favourite Christmas song ever is "Simply Having a Wonderful Christmas Time" by Paul McCartney.
Okay.
Do you know what improves it greatly? Realising that the middle eight is just Paul McCartney saying the word "dong" ad infinitum.
Well, dong, you know.
Oh, Christopher Walken singing for Wings there.
And there was me.
Not all old people sound alike, you're racist.
It could be worse anyway. It could be really lazy, like the last Ketchup Christmas song.
But they literally just put a MIDI bells.
It was
over
basically
the
the same song, but they just
They
put
didn't
bells
even
over
wear
it.
a coat in the video.
No, it was the same video.
I would have loved if they'd gone even more fuck you with it and just, I said, hey, have it to the Christmas.
Bill Nye in Love Actually.
Exactly.
Next, yeah.
Yeah, what we've done is we've just changed it for the word Christmas.
Chris Walken was in that film. Interesting.
But weirdly, when when that single got released, I actually thought, shit, it's actually one of the better Christmas songs to come out in a long
it's
time.
not bad. You know what my least favourite Christmas song is? Stop the Cavalry.
It is
I
turd.
hate it.
It's awful.
It's so bad. It just does nothing for me whatsoever. Like it's not. I don't enjoy the song anyway. And then it's the only reference to Christmas is, I wish I was at home for Christmas,
which was inserted by a record label executive.
Yeah, exactly. But also, it could have been said in August, and that's true because it's a war.
But Last Christmas by Wham, the original lyrics were Last Easter. And on the one hand, it was Last Easter I Gave Him Heart, was the original lyrics. And the record label executive said, you could change it to Christmas. Well, you get a payday every March that way.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, yeah, that works.
Yeah.
And
you don't have Easter number ones, do you?
No,
it's true.
that's it.
True.
But also, like, who the fuck writes lyrics like that? What's wrong with you, George?
Yeah, seriously.
Well, you're dead now, I know, but Wham.
I wish it could be June every day. What's your favourite Christmas song, though?
I like Jethro Tull's Ring Out Solstice Bells.
Okay.
I really like one because it's something kind of intrinsically Christmassy about it without referencing Christianity, without referencing Father Christmas, referencing parties and stuff like that. And there's just, I'm not a pagan druid Wiccan person.
Okay.
But there's something about the art style, that kind of almost like Wicker Man kind of folk thing. I just like motifs. There's something about them that resonates to British culture, I think. And although, like I say, although it's not part of my belief system, I like the style, I like the vibe. Yeah. And I think that kind of nails it. That's why I really like that one.
Yeah.
I think Greg Lake's one's lovely as well.
Nice. What about you, Blake?
I was going to say Ring Out Solstice Bells because I do really like that.
Fine.
You can also, it's possible for you to like the same song.
Yeah.
I know it's crazy, but sometimes on Crash Train we are allowed to agree briefly.
I do.
Oh, yeah. Actually, yeah, that's fine.
I do have the Wizard song will always have a place in my heart for Bender Crack Corn, though.
We did nail that, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't really argue with that.
Just on my face, really.
I like the Wizard one anyway.
It's a perfectly enjoyable song.
Yeah.
Wizard is, let me make sure I've got this right. Wizard is I Wish It Could Be Christmas Every Day.
It is, yes.
Yeah. Just making sure, because obviously when I was a kid, we used to have like a Christmas album with all the Christmas-related songs on it, and a few of them I'd kind of got a bit mixed up on when I was younger. But as I'm older, I think I've got it. So it's just kind of reaffirming.
It didn't help that there were two songs, which was Merry Christmas Everyone and Merry Christmas Everybody,
which we would do on the same set list.
Yes,
which doesn't help. We were trying to go. So which one's that one?
Yeah, at the end of a set list, we started writing Wizard or Shaking Stevens.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I like the Shakin' Stevens one, actually.
I do. I think that's a fun one. Yeah.
In Dolce Jubilo by Mike Oldfield is nice. Is that a Christmas thing? Because it was on our Christmas thing.
I think the original lyrics are Christmassy, but he did an instrumental version of a Christmas song and took away what made it Christmassy.
That's kind of what I associate with Christmas is the instrumental version. Because again, it was on the CD.
On the prog front, I think the Steel Ice Band one is Gaudete. I think is quite nice. Again, that's kind of, although it is a Christian song, it hits that kind of British folk vibe that I quite like.
There's nothing wrong with enjoying.
Absolutely. I'm not saying that. I'm saying
I'm not a man of faith personally, but I love listening to gospel choirs.
Yeah,
love it. I don't know what it is about. It's just the exuberance about it all.
Yeah,
it's the kind of like I'm a person of faith and I love that.
Yeah, you can.
As opposed to like the kind of dirge. Those really some
waspy Christian stuff is a bit dirty.
Yeah, there's
what
some
we associate
kind of,
with schools.
Yeah, there's some upbeat kind of Christian hymns, but there's also, like I say, gospel is like far and away my favourite thing about it all. Yeah, exactly. Like it's just like that word it's got such a
It's got to be hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, only in America. All right, maybe I've gone too far.
Yeah.
When I've Don Kinged up your Christmas song.
Yeah.
Yeah, so which of these Christmas songs are you playing at your funeral if we completely diverted down the wrong track?
Well, this is the Christmas theme.
I think funeral, you've got to have a Christmas song.
Oh,
So
God.
if you die in July,
Yeah, it's really weird.
I just remembered.
what will happen then is Noddy Holder will get one royalty check he can't explain.
I remembered there was this other.
4p.
I just remembered there was a Sims family that I was going to mention.
Oh my God!
You
okay.
didn't make Slade, did you?
No.
Did you do a house where it was Christmas every day?
It was a religious one. It was.
Blake, did you do a house where it was Christmas every day?
Yeah, the kids were mental.
Yeah, you just had the installer for the Christmas stuff. I'm like, I'm going to get my fucking money's worth. This is £8.
It was probably one of the shortest runs of a family I ever had.
Yeah.
And it's fairly similar to your one, and it's what made me originally think of it. And I was going to lead it to it, and then the conversation fucked off down the pub.
Crazy,
yeah, as usual.
Fucked off down the pub. I like that.
But
the conversation's going to come back and beat
I
mummy.
once created a Mormon family. It was once a Mormon family where it was one guy and about 7 women.
Hello, I'm Mr. Simley, and these are my harem of bitches.
Yeah, it wasn't the most politically correct family I've ever made in my life.
I don't think the word harem of bitches is particularly politically correct. Just as an aside.
But the idea was,
That
he
sounds
went out
like
and got a
Blake's
job.
spectacularly ill-advised rap album.
But it was, I think it was, he went out for a job or something. I can't remember. They sort of, he was sort of like
did woman things.
Yeah, they did all
in
the
stereo.
But the thing is, one was doing the tidying, one was doing the cooking and stuff like that. One was doing the cooking, but she started a fire, and they all tried. And this is the thing: I had them doing jobs, but I neglected to make them do any reading up on cooking skill or maintenance or anything. So they
You
were
just expected it to be innate, didn't you?
And
Horrible
the fire,
misogynist.
basically, what happened was that the fire got so out of hand that there was only one survivor, and she was stuck on the top floor of the house, and the stairway had burned down. So she was stuck at the
I
top.
would pay to see the reaction if that happened in
and
real
he
life.
came
of
home.
the husband coming home from work, and
Yeah.
6 of his 7 wives have died while he was at work once.
Yeah, that was the thing. I just went.
Hey.
But then at the end of it, I came back and it was just him and one of his wives. I went, not really much of a Mormon family now, is it?
No, well, given their lack of cooking skill and their inability to put out a fire, I think moron family would be more appropriate.
But it was just the way that one was trying to put out one and then she was catching fire and it was just getting...
They tried to put each
it was
other
just-
out.
Yeah, they were just trying to
Weird
put each
circle
other out. Yeah, it just...
Right.
It's just wildly beating each other to death. It was just,
Good Lord.
yeah, it wasn't good.
Yeah.
It wasn't good.
Yeah, so I'll play that at my funeral.
Yeah, all right. So
play The Sims.
basically just like telling that story.
Yeah, instead of a song, you got to watch Blake play The Sims for a couple of hours.
Episode 58 of
That
the
would
Crazy
sum
Train.
up my
That
life.
particular
That
bit.
sounds like that would sum up my life.
Yeah.
No piece of music, just watching Blake play a video game.
Stop exploding your camera.
So yeah, what songs at your funeral?
We are doing it. Okay.
Yeah, we'll do it.
Yeah. Not allowed to wish Happy Christmas every day.
No, you're not allowed to. We can have a different Christmas song
Happy
if you want.
birthday. No.
Just the happy birthday to you.
Shawn Michaels' entrance music.
Oh, that's great. I'd be all right with that. Just like Taker's music.
Well, we've got that queued up. You know?
Yeah.
We played it every time.
All in blur set the speakers.
Celebrate good times.
Blake's
come
dead.
on.
Yeah. I mean, there's instrumental pieces you could have. You know, like classical and stuff.
All of the Mountain King.
Nice. That's dark. I like that.
Close. Yeah, but I would cut it about halfway, just when it's really getting good.
Due to budget constraints.
Yeah, just end it that.
Due to budget constraints, Blake's funeral music will be played on a polyphonic ringtone.
And it just fades out.
Oh, it'll be a bit like that one. I remember
As the coffin's moving backwards, like his phone's in his pocket.
For effect.
talking about old ringtones. I remember one of your old phones used to have one where you could record a theme
Yeah,
tune.
I had one of those.
And I remember you managed to recreate Rain in Blood, but right at the end it played one duff note. Because it used to go
Broke a string, all right?
yeah.
As like, I think I told this story on the podcast before. There used to be a guy who worked at Sounds Perfect in Chatham, which became Sound and Image, Manny's Music and all that. And now I think it's just flats, which is kind of sad. But they managed to get a lot of flats out of it, which is impressive.
Yeah.
But he used to take great delight in playing famous songs, iconic guitar riffs, ever so slightly wrong. So he would... he'd get the guitar out and he'd pick out something really nice because he knew his way around guitars, and he was a shit hot player as well. He used to just noodle on, like, when nobody else was there except like me and him or Manny and that, he would just noodle on like Van Halen and things like that, just or he'd just riff. And then if somebody came in, he would start playing Whole Lot of Love, but it would go but it would just be ever so slightly wrong, just like one semitone out. But he would have the biggest fucking smile on his face I've ever seen in a person. It brought him so much joy just for people to think he was terrible. Yeah. It's weird to think about. We were talking about this at work today. Do you see in the news about Toys R Us? They're going to be closing like a quarter of their stores. Yep. I feel bad for kids, because that was, when I was a kid, that was an epic experience. Like, certainly the first time I went to a Toys R Us, and you just saw these stacked high shelves of toys everywhere, and it's all these, so many different varieties and stuff.
Oh, I still think it's a spectacle now. When
it is, but
it's all games of shit. But,
Yeah, well, that's true. But
they have Playmobil with Ghostbusters now. It's cool.
Yeah, and they also have Star Wars Risk, which is always nice.
Yeah,
it's a good game.
And all the Lego.
And all the Lego, yeah. And also Duplo, if you like that, if you've chosen to live your life that way.
Overpriced video games.
That's true. Yes, very much so. But then when they do have deals, they're superb. It's weird.
And Funko Pops now.
Yes. Yeah.
Because everyone sells Funko Pops.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure newsagents now carry those.
Yeah, it seems like it.
Yeah. No, it's whatever, if that's what people enjoy. What I don't understand is people who keep it like super pristine to the point where they buy like protective plastic cases and stuff. If you want to do it, more power to you,
really
right?
Shitty thing. I can't name names for legal reasons, but there was a comic, because I do comic conventions as an author. So I'm in a Facebook group of comic traders.
Yes.
So we can talk about what shows to do. And there was one, they were all traders expressly told, don't do pop vinyls.
Right.
So every individual of them thought, well, they've got too many traders doing pop vinyls.
This was a message to traders in the group to say, don't bring any.
Don't bring pop vinyls. We're like, well, okay, well, maybe they've got traders doing it already, or so they just want to show other stuff.
A lot of people do.
And most traders didn't mind, they just brought other stuff.
Yeah.
And until when they actually got there, the reason was because the organisers had a table of their own selling Funko Pops.
Okay.
Which is like, okay, you haven't technically done anything wrong, but
it's still a bit
that's
shitty.
a bit shitty.
Yeah.
Taking money off us to rent space to sell stuff and then telling us what
we can and can't sell. It's just like, all right, Hitler.
Yeah. But I've not known that happen with anything else apart from Funko Pops yet.
No.
Well, that said, I must admit, I've been going to like a couple of London Film and Comic Cons in the past.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't so bad that year just gone, but the year before, there seemed to be like 90% of the stalls sold Funko Pops.
It was terrible. They are saturated in outlets for sure. Like, we know it. I understand why certain shops sell them. So, like, I understand why Game do the video game ones.
Yeah, totally.
I don't understand why Game sell the John Cena ones. Although it is tempting.
It wouldn't surprise me.
But at the same time, I can never see it.
It wouldn't.
You're buying your copy of 2K18, you might as well have that.
Yeah, true.
It wouldn't surprise me if that was a wholesaler thing. You basically, you can have those, but you've got to take 5 of these as well.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
To be fair, I'm going to say, to be fair, it has been tempting because
he's in a video game.
I'm part of C Nation, so whatever.
He's in a video game. Yeah, that's what it is. Tangential, I guess.
Yeah, it works. I mean, you can make that argument about a lot of things based on that. You have Ronaldo ones.
Like simulation hypothesis, so it should be Crazy Train Funko.
Well, quite so. Well, you can customize them, so maybe we should just make some.
Yeah, all right. I'll get a demon-possessed windmill Funko Pop then.
Sound good.
Using a video game.
Yeah. One of those big ones.
I think.
Yeah, sure.
Well, you can get custom-made Xbox controllers, can't you?
Yes, you can.
So,
I almost got
out of demon-possessed windmills.
No.
If you
That's
wanted
fucking niche.
It's only the analogs.
Only I want one, and I don't own an Xbox. I don't know who they're trying to say.
It's only the analog sticks that you can have windmill themes.
Oh right.
Yeah. It's a weird design. It's like 20 quid more as well. Like who gives a shit?
Yeah.
Yeah, but the Xbox controllers, they've got customized ones. Like, they can go really deep on them. The annoying thing is there's certain customizations I'd want to make, and I can't change those bits. You know what I mean? Like, it's not so much.
You can't have an E14 pad then.
You could. Using red, black, and white, you could make a very passable E14 pad. It's just there's certain bits
have the logo
I
on it.
want the face buttons to be like X, A, B, and Y to be red, and you can't have red. that sort of thing. Like you can customize them, but you only have certain number of colors to choose from on certain bits. It's like
I thought you were just going to have. I want the A, B, X, and Y to just be the E14 logo, but then I wouldn't know which button was what.
Which one do I press? 4?
Or my A, B, X, and Y buttons inverted.
Thank you, Switch.
Yeah, for real.
You know what? Change the circle. Make the circle button the confirm button. That'll piss people off.
Yeah, it's. Let's say going back to what I was saying, the Toys R Us thing. Music shops, I feel, are the same. Like, there's going to be fewer of those for kids to go and like sit and see instruments and watch people play them and kind of go, "Oh man, that guy's awesome! I want to be like him." Because Amazon dominates so much of like shopping culture, which is a weird sentence, but I suppose it's true.
I do know what you mean.
Yeah, because it just dominates shopping everywhere. Because they sell so much different variety of stuff, which again, more power to them. They've found a way to make it work, and good for them.
Not paying tax mainly.
Yeah, using legal loopholes. Yeah. We'd all love to be able to do that. Thanks, mate.
Jimmy Carr said,
some of us more than most.
Yeah. As Jimmy Carr said, my accountant said, would I like to spend less tax? And I said yes.
Yeah, because the reasonable response is, yes, please. Yeah, at least he said, as long as he said please, that's the main thing I'd care about.
Well, yeah,
just because manners cost nothing, Jimmy.
Yeah.
And they're not deductible, but they do cost nothing. That's why they're not deductible. That's a weird. Going back to what we were saying about like weird moments, microcosms in time in every episode. When we started this podcast, the taxman was on my back. That is no longer the case. But it's weird to go back and listen to those things and think, man, I had a lot on my mind at those particular times. I was very good at keeping. I made references to it on episodes
where necessary.
But. I deducted where appropriate, which, it would have been nice to learn that skill earlier, but,
Going back in time, the trash wizard was alive.
Yes, and for all I know, for all we know, he is alive and well.
One day and
I think so. One day,
Let me put it this way. Is he alive? Is he?
Was he ever?
Everybody drink.
Wherever he is, I'm sure he's living with a windmill.
That's true, yeah. Or a family of burning women.
Maybe with that, we saw slightly into the future.
Yeah, maybe.
Accidentally created
the trash wizard on The Sims.
It's a weird simulation paradox. Yeah.
Cost him. I just want his gravestone to do the trash wizard. It cost him 4.
Trash wizard. Not the best at making friends, but great at being talked about. Yeah. That would be great.
But his gravestone's in the shape of a CB radio.
The trash wizard. I love the fact it's written the trash wizard on his fucking gravestone. We'll have that much influence. But he'll just have that quote. The only thing worse than being talked about is not being talked about. Crazy Trains 3, 4, 7, 11, 13. Yeah.
Anything worth than being talked about is being, I need a CB radio.
Shut up and listen to my gravestone.
Yeah.
Just the
You're not paying attention.
So what song will we play at the Trash Wizard's funeral?
At the Crazy Train's funeral. Any day now.
Yeah. You train.
Yeah. Crazy Train. Yeah, that makes sense.
Ironically, the Aussie one.
It would feel appropriate, I guess. I've thought.
It looks like you're looking at notes over there.
No, I had alerts on my phone. I didn't understand why, but I get it now.
Yeah, oh dear.
Yeah, no. So, no.
Oh, right.
Nothing like that. It's fine. No depressed strike.
Carrying on with the show.
Yeah, no depressed strike being this guy is powerful.
80 missed calls.
Oh man, I'm so dead. Hello.
I mean,
oh, sorry.
That bit.
May leave it in. None of them listen.
We got anything in the mailbag we could tackle?
Well, I mean, the song "What Would You Have Played at Your Funeral" is probably in there, but we've made a pretty much massive fucking.
We have not a selection
Christmas
of Christmas songs,
yeah.
Yeah.
And "Burning to Death" for Mormon Family.
Yeah,
I also haven't done a mailbag for ages, didn't I?
No, last time I checked, we had some, but I don't remember where I put them. Much like mailbags for real, I don't know where I put my posts in the flat. I don't remember where I've put them here. So, in the meantime, maybe decide what you want to play at your funeral.
Oh God, he's still on about wanting to tackle the core of the episode.
God, what a bastard.
Serious answer?
No, because I'd never know what
Okay,
here's a better
way.
Never know what I'd have
Here
at my
is a
funeral.
better and more upbeat way of tackling this.
All right, fine.
What song would you play at the other cast member's funeral?
Jesus.
Because you can't pick your own.
Okay.
Well, who are you going to give to them?
All right, I like this. Okay.
Yeah, well, I think this could end badly because if anyone's going to choose a song for the funeral, it probably will be me for Brad.
I would Google.
Spirit. Fuck me. I would Google what?
I would Google to find out what the song is with the most S's in, and play that at Blake's.
Oh, it's just white. It's just white noise. It's just.
Everyone just think I'd replace your body with a coffin full of snakes.
Why is it always
Which is
have
the
to be
name of my
snakes?
coffin full of snakes? Is the name of my ill-advised death metal album.
Yeah, same
Available
as
now.
Same as Rob's black metal album.
Shouting in the woods, which wasn't recorded. Thanks for that.
Oh, I can't tell these
bitches
days.
from Blake.
Blake Harmer and his harem of bitches.
my rap album.
Oh, in its entirety, if listen to Blake drone rap.
Oh God, yeah, it's got to be interesting.
Cool.
This is one of Joe's. So
Okay,
this is
that's
for a bit of historical context. A while back, which looks like June, according to Facebook, I put a comment in we have a little Facebook group where we organise recording times. And I requested anybody who couldn't make the episode to chuck in questions. We ended up with this fucking massive thread. I can't use that one because it's kind of... Well, the question is...
Legally questionable.
If you could pick one composer to score your life, who would it be? But then we've kind of not done the song thing. So
John Williams.
That works. What about like a classical composer? You could do like a... Well, he is, but what I mean is you could have like a sort of a Baroque one or something.
Oh, okay, right. So a historical one,
yeah,
I suppose.
a Chopin might be good.
Yeah, it could be good. Yeah.
Yeah. I was
I'd be
thinking...
a lovely little big fan.
I wouldn't have a problem with...
Elgar, actually. I like his stuff.
Chopin's March Funèbre at my funeral because even like obviously the first bit is always the dum dum.
Do you know what I would?
Go on.
Hungarian Dance No. 5.
Oh, I love that piece.
I know you
it's
do.
Beautiful. Yeah, I can never remember who it's by though.
Oh, I do
is it
know.
Dvorak or something? No.
Come back to me in a minute.
All right, fine.
I'd have Brad's funeral at double speed, but have Flight of the Bumblebee.
I've got a feeling it's
Oh, that's
Debussy.
pretty cool.
Is it Debussy?
Maybe actually, yeah.
But they literally, the people carrying the coffin have to run down.
Rick Astley's Never Gonna Give You Up. But it doubles in speed every time he says the word never. I once, fucking true story. There was did you see this doing the rounds like on YouTube?
It was
there were
quite
videos.
a fad on YouTube,
there was a
wasn't
fad where they would take a movie and speed it up every time a word was said. That occurred a lot in the film. So the first one was B movie. Every time somebody said the word B, the film would go up. I think 50%.
Yeah, I remember it, yeah.
And the whole film shrinks to
I
about
watched it,
2.5
but I've not
minutes.
seen B movies, so I didn't find it especially funny.
No, I just kind of enjoyed the like. Wow, they really must say B a lot because this 2-hour film has become 2.5 minutes. But somebody put up on Reddit, Rick Astley's Never Gonna Give You Up, but every time he says the word never, it doubles in speed. And I'm watching it for about a minute, and I'm like, you cunt, you've just rickrolled me because it's just a normal video.
That is glorious.
Yeah, I did end up seeing the real thing, the one because there was a real one. That was the kicker. Was there was a real Never Gonna Give You Up, and it doubles in speed every time you say the word never, and it's amazing because it's like. And then it just becomes like white noise, which is incredible. You know, much like when you've heard it enough times generally. Right, let's find... Joe's question is, what technology are you disappointed doesn't exist yet?
In Blade Runner, there is a scene where he's got a photo he's examining under like a viewfinder.
Oh, yeah,
He can somehow pan
Yes. There's
and
like
see round corner.
and go zoom in on it. That even though it's like a grainy, Polaroid image, he can zoom in on it in like ultra 56K.
It's a while since I've seen it. Doesn't he pan round a corner?
I think he does.
Which is not how photos work.
No, but that's science fiction for you, baby.
Yeah, I know. It's that one. Yeah, I'm fine. I can accept flying cars for some reason, but that was like that's no. Stop picking at it, Ridley.
Yeah. Pulse rifles.
Oh, they're so good. I genuinely think they're one of the best sound effects.
They have some amazing sound effects. That's one of the upsides, the few upsides in relative terms of Colonial Marines, is they capture that pulse rifle sound bang on. The game itself is fine. Certainly a game I've
heard it's an FPS game with aliens cut and pasted over the top of it.
Pretty much, yeah.
In terms of it, it's a weird game because it's both. It seems to be a love letter to fans because they nailed
But a massive fuck you simultaneously.
Yeah, but they fuck it up royally.
Box.
Yeah. It's basically, hello, fans. We love you, but I'm fucking John. Who's John? Who's John?
That also works for every single Fantastic Four movie, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's fan service, but on the other hand, fuck the fans.
Yeah, pretty much. So, yeah. I mean, there are degrees of fuck the fans, I think, like and especially even within the grade of Fantastic Four. It's like, fuck the fans of the first one is like, fuck the fans. The second one is fuck the fans of Fantastic Four and the Silver Surfer.
Yeah.
And then the most recent one is fuck the fans, they're all racist for some reason.
Yeah. Yeah, that was especially grating.
Yeah.
It was like,
we wouldn't be racist if you explained yourself.
Exactly,
or make two of them black.
Yeah, make it
fine.
identical.
We'll make all of
make
them.
them twins of the same ethnicity. Because, to my knowledge, there has been one recorded instance in reality, in real history, of mixed race twins.
Yeah.
There's been a recorded instance in history. I feel like it's not mainstream enough to justify doing it in a Marvel film.
Very odd.
When they
it was an attempt to grab headlines to market the film. Unfortunately, by the sound of it, they didn't have a very good film behind that.
No, that's the thing, is you need to have like at least a solid film behind it.
You can court controversy as long as you can back it up as well.
Yeah, exactly. Like if
because that was just Sony just sounded like they were throwing their toys out of the pram by the end of it.
Yeah, it's just like, well, you don't like us, you must be hateful.
Yeah.
It's like, no,
Well,
maybe your movie
can't be women. You're a sexist.
Yeah, it's just like, no, maybe I just don't like the movie very much, and that's fine. And it's like, if people like it, that's cool.
Yeah.
Like there's bits of it I enjoyed, but generally it just kind of left me a bit cold.
Yeah. Are you on Fantastic Four or Ghostbusters now?
Ghostbusters. Yeah. So yeah, we jumped a bit, but
I enjoyed Ghostbusters. I think it was it's definitely the third best film, but
yeah, I'll go with
it's
that.
definitely not. But it didn't ruin my love of the franchise or anything like
not
that.
at all. Ultimately,
and I will watch it again. It's not. I don't like.
I
dislike
enjoy it. Fine. Yeah.
It's just.
It
does go 1, 2, 3.
I saw it once. I thought that was fine for me. It just didn't. It wasn't. I didn't get the feeling it knew what it was trying to be. For me, it felt like it didn't have enough jokes for a comedy. It didn't have enough stuff to make me laugh to be a comedy. It didn't have enough action to be an action movie.
To me, its greatest crime was it was a remake which didn't make sense or hold a lot of entertainment value unless you'd seen the original.
Yeah, there's a lot of...
It relied on you knowing the original, and that's not how remakes work.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Because this is one of those things I talk about a lot with the Star Wars movies. If the biggest fuck up they could make is make it so that you have to have read the comics to make the sense of the film.
Yeah, they can punch in one direction.
Yeah, exactly. And you can have stuff where
that's the title of my autobiography, Punch in One Direction.
Just a picture of Harry Styles. Leave me alone, you bastard.
Crazy illegal disclaimer.
But you can have like...
Brad hasn't actually punched Harry Styles.
No. No, exactly, yeah. And nor does he plan to at the current time of recording. But
on the other hand...
advised to say nothing.
We know how this works.
On the other hand, time fist.
So, like, the example I use is Dr. Evazan in Ponda Barbara in Rogue One, right? You don't need to know who they are to enjoy for that bit to make sense. It's just you bump into a couple of people who are a bit gobby.
Yeah,
it helps to have seen episode 4.
It seemed a bit shooting.
I thought it was dumb. Don't get me wrong.
It was fucking stupid. Yeah, it was what I call an arm punch moment that they put in films purely to make you punch your mate in the arm. That's all those moments.
Yeah.
And that was the bulk of my contention of the original J.J. Abrams Star Trek movie. There was so much, that's Bones, that's Captain Pike. There was so much of that in it. I really started grating after a while.
Yeah. It's my thing on it is like, just remember who the audience is. It's like, you're not going to get $2.1 billion from the hardcore fans.
Yeah, totally.
You get a chunk of it from them, but you won't get 2.1 billion. Avatar wouldn't have got, nearly the box office draw it did without appealing to the casuals. And I don't say casuals in it as a pejorative. I'm, because ultimately in some context I'm a casual.
Yeah.
I'm not a massive fan of certain things. I'm kind of like Lord of the Rings is a perfect example, right? I enjoy those movies. I've never read the books. I tried. Talked about water too fucking much. So I gave up. But I like the movies and I like the story they tell. So I'm sure I'd probably dig the books if I could give it a go.
Yeah, sure.
There you go.
Just out of curiosity with the Avatar sequels on the horizon and that. Do you actually think that they're going to be as successful as the first one? Because I think the whole hype train for it all has died.
Yeah, I'll go you one further. Not only do I not think there's going to be as much hype for the sequels, I don't think James Cameron has accepted that, because I think he's actually walked back. That he was originally planning on doing 4 sequels, shooting them back to back.
Oh, yeah, now he's recently announced he said he might not get it done,
and then maybe 2 more if they go down well. So I think he knows that they're not going to be. He's not going to get to 5.
The whole thing of the first film was that it was pioneering use of 3D technology.
It's no longer really a thing.
It's at the time it was a perfectly good.
I must admit, I enjoyed the first film. I don't think it's an amazing film.
Fine,
but I
should have been Ben.
But what I think made the film was seeing it in the cinema in 3D. I think that's true. Don't really feel like I've not seen it outside of the cinema, because I don't think I need to see it outside the cinema.
I've only seen it outside the cinema. I saw it on a Blu-ray, and it looked great. But I could certainly imagine it would look amazing in 3D.
It looked fine. I saw it once, and it was an okay sci-fi movie.
Yeah.
There was nothing about it which for me put it with James Cameron's truly amazing action movies. Aliens, Terminator 2, True Lies, I think are absolutely amazing action movies.
I love True Lies. Yeah.
There was nothing which elevated it up with his earlier work, unfortunately.
I love the other movies too, to be clear.
Yeah,
I just mentioned True Lies because it wasn't the one I expected you to say next. I thought you might say Terminator 1.
Yeah, no, so True Lies I think is an amazing action movie.
Yeah. No, True Lies is brilliant. I really love that movie.
It didn't really measure up to those, and it kind of felt like an okay sci-fi movie.
Yeah.
I do think having Michael Biehn in it would have improved it, but I do say that about a lot of films.
You say that about a lot of things. You said that about to be fair, if we can get him on the crazy train, I think it will improve it.
If you watch my fan edit of Shakespeare in Love, I think you'd agree.
You said that about Colonial Marines, but it's still shit.
Yeah, true. But think how much worse it would have been without him.
Yeah.
To be fair, he did all throughout that game, he didn't sound like he wanted to be there.
I got to look at Michelle Rodriguez, and she's my weird crush.
I get it.
Yeah,
I get that. And I'm fine with that.
It felt like an okay action movie, but I remember someone saying, Avatar came along and it made this insane amount of money. It's one of the biggest.
It's the biggest grossing film of all time.
But name a character from it.
I think one's called Sully, maybe? I might be thinking of Monsters,
Inc. Quote a line
of
dialogue from it.
Blue Bastards.
It made an immense amount of money, but left no cultural impact whatsoever.
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah. They're Navi, aren't they called? The blue ones?
The Navi are called the blue ones are Navi,
Yeah, but by comparison, I've seen the first 3 Pirates movies in the cinema once.
Yeah.
But I can still name the main characters, and I can't do that with Avatar.
No, it's true.
No.
And that didn't make anywhere near the amount of money Avatar did.
Is it Avatar or Avatar? I don't even know, to be honest.
I was under the impression Avatar was the American pronunciation. I think it's Avatar is a British pronunciation.
Oh, okay.
Right, if I'm wrong, that's just always the impression I've been under.
I don't know, to be honest. Like, that's why I'm asking, is because when you've said it, I'm just like... It sounds like kind of wrong on the surface, but then I'm thinking, but then am I just thinking of Avatar as the...
I'm under the impression that Avatar is a British pronunciation.
Okay.
I might be wrong.
When I was growing up, like with 40K, for example, I always referred it to as the Avatar of Kane.
Okay.
When Avatar came out, everyone started saying Avatar, and I just went, "Oh, maybe I'm wrong." Then I don't know.
No, that's it. I might
to
be
be
wrong
fair,
if I am right.
American pronunciations make their way into British pronunciations all the time.
But I have thought of a fictional technology I really wish existed,
all right.
which is from anything which has a teleportation device.
Yes.
The amount of stress and time I would save until I think about how reliable broadband internet is these days, and I could go on my way to a meeting or a work, and I'd turn up with no trousers.
Yeah.
Or
especially if you teleport from bed.
Or someone else. No, you get in your little teleport. It does the noise from Star Trek. You come out and you've got someone else's trousers on.
Someone else's legs.
So basically, it's the Spaceballs thing.
No, you come for it as
no beaming.
No, all right, no, you laugh, but how often have you sent an email and forgot the attachment? It's going to be very easy to forget to put your trousers on in a teleporter.
It's true. Yeah, a number of times I've sent trousers through in an email by mistake.
Yeah,
it's all connected.
Exactly.
I think my technology. I think my technology is you can watch any film but insert Michael Biehn in it.
All right.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Is that, what technology do you wish existed? One that doesn't exist. It's like, thanks, Blake. At least we're conceiving of stuff that we've seen before. Yeah. I mean, pulse rifles would be a good one. I think like 3D traffic. as in on the vertical plane.
Yeah,
because
like
we don't have
Fifth
it.
Element style.
Yeah, Fifth Element, Coruscant traffic in the prequels, all that sort of stuff. We don't have that, and it would make so much sense. Now you'd still get bell ends in Essex, but ultimately
you get one guy who speaks vertically.
Ultimately, unless this whole fucking county goes up, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, man can dream. Hello, Essex. Goodbye, Essex.
I thought E14 was their postcode.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why I can't hashtag a lot of stuff with it. Hashtag E14, because it's like, well, maybe it is a good marketing strategy. I don't know. No, some particular
polar bear.
One particular borough of London is just like, you prick, this again. I don't care about
the
your
only way is emotional.
.tumblr.com.
Yeah, it's true. We don't have a Tumblr.
No, we don't.
I like that.
Yeah, me too. I think it is. Yeah, I'm not on. I'm on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. I'm not on Tumblr.
Do you read Tumblr?
Occasionally, someone will post a link to Tumblr, and I will read the link they posted because there is some good stuff on Tumblr, but the noise to signal ratio is not favourable.
The only reason I ask is because I've picked up on it. I pick up on because I'm on a lot of different social medias, and I'm kind of conscious of most of them, even if I'm not active. I pick up on when people use the terminology that's kind of associated with that thing. So if somebody says upvote, I assume they use Reddit. They either use Reddit or they spend time on Reddit.
Sure.
If somebody says signal boost, I see it as a Tumblr thing.
Okay,
I don't know why that is.
No,
it's
that
just,
makes sense. Though.
Yeah. The same way as like, I'd retweet that.
Yeah.
Like they at least have heard of Twitter.
Yeah, sure.
Maybe they don't use it regularly. Like maybe they're not spamming out automated links.
I kind of binge Twitter. I kind of use it for a few days and then forget about it for a few days.
I have automation to stop me from doing that too much.
I need to set something up. Yeah. Instagram is my favourite one.
I like Instagram. I'm enjoying Instagram more.
I think we've kind of purged the people who just took pictures of their dinner all the time, and I don't know whether it's just the network's gotten friendly or the hashtags have gotten better, but it seems like there's more chance to actually have a dialogue, and it just seems like a friendlier atmosphere than most social.
I think there is that. Yeah, it does.
So I'm not on Tumblr because I find the noise to signal ratio just to be very, very annoying.
It does seem to be full of twats as well.
I'm not on Reddit, but I will occasionally browse Reddit.
Yeah, Reddit has its moments.
I find Ask Reddit hilarious sometimes.
Oh, some of those are amazing.
I check in on that every now and again.
Oh, yes. Yeah, some of them are some of the Reddit stuff is.
Yeah, I've never been on LinkedIn. The best description of LinkedIn I ever heard was it's Facebook for people who buy their albums at motorway service stations.
Yeah, I kind of like that.
Doing something with his phone.
Yeah, somebody's just asked if that polar bear's real. No, really.
Your answer is that's Yorick Bernison.
I've just put, we assume animatronic. Which is a great prog
delete
bander.
The word animatronic.
We animatronic. We assume. We animatronic.
Assume it very hot polar bear.
We assume polar bear dead. I'd be interested to know what the copyright situation is with polar bears. I know. Bear with me. I know what I mean. So, bit of trivia. Pandas are all owned by the Chinese government.
I did not know that. Okay,
that's something I've heard. I've not
typical commies.
I will admit I've not fact checked it.
Is it kind of like how supposedly all swans belong to the Queen?
Yeah, but I think this one might be
more legally enforceable.
My understanding is that all pandas are, they're kind of seen as the property of China, and then they're rented for zoos and sanctuaries and things like that. I wonder, does Coca-Cola own polar bears?
Ooh,
or does the North Pole?
They technically own the
British
the
Gas
classic rendering of Father Christmas, don't they?
Apparently so, yeah.
Does British Gas own penguins now?
I don't know. They have that little... Which one is the one that has the little mascot that looks like a turd? It's supposed to be like a little ball of... like a little flame.
Might be Eon,
energy.
I think.
You're referring to Bradley Walsh. Who has a Christmas album out, I saw.
Does he really?
He's brought an album out. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Is it just him laughing to bits from the chase?
I've presented just a list of people I wasn't expecting to have a new album out this year.
Yeah. Is it just him laughing about bits from the chase where somebody says the word baubles over and over again?
I presume so.
Yeah. Oh, bless
That's
him.
just the things that took me by surprise in Tesco's. There's a hashtag.
Yeah, that's a long hashtag.
Yeah.
Now, lucky you've got that new 280 character limit.
I'm allowed to waffle as much as I like on Twitter
indeed.
now.
Yep.
Yeah, as is Blake, if he ever joined in.
Hashtag AMAA. Ask me absolutely anything.
Yeah.
Or ask me almost anything, I think it is actually.
Okay.
About Rampart. It's one of the great...
Yeah, that didn't get a film,
One of the all-time great Reddit things, one of those Reddit stories is Woody Harrelson. So they have they have a dedicated AMA subreddit.
Yeah.
Woody Harrelson goes on it and doesn't really get what it's about. So the AMA thing is ask me anything.
Yeah.
All he wants to talk about is the movie he's about to star in, which at the time was Rampart. So every time somebody asks him, like, who is your favourite person to work with on Cheers? And he's like, come on, guys, I'm really here to talk about Rampart. And for 6 months, that was the running meme, was like, you know, if the conversation was like going off topic, it'd be like, guys, can we just keep the conversation about Rampart?
Okay.
I haven't even seen it. I don't know if it's any good. No, it's weird.
Woody Harrelson's usually a sign of quality, I find.
I think for the most part.
It's not. I don't want to knock Mr. Harrelson if he's listening, but I would never put him as one of my favourite actors ever.
But he's a solid pair of hands.
I think he's got very...
Is it based on the video game, like Rampage?
No. I think he's got very good taste in the scripts he accepts.
Yeah.
He's almost like a reverse Malcolm McDowell.
Yeah.
Malcolm McDowell and Rutger Hauer are a very good actor. Wes Bentley I would put in there as well. Very good actors.
Good shout.
Not good decision making when it comes to which scripts to accept. But I think Woody Harrelson is, and he's a competent enough actor. I'm not saying he's a bad actor, but when you see Woody Harrelson in a film, I now tend to go, well, it's probably good.
Yeah. And I would go one further, actually, with the actors who tend to choose bad scripts and say basically Steve Martin after 95.
After he's sort of like a Reiner, basically.
Pretty much, yeah. It's like, it's just anything he chooses, you're just like, oh God, he's like, even if he's good in it, like there's a bit in Bringing Down the House, which otherwise looks like a garbage piece of shit movie. Yeah. But there's a bit where he's dressed in rap clothes and walking through trying to give it all the strut and stuff. And it's hilarious that he doesn't even say a word. Yeah. But it's just Steve Martin being Steve Martin. It's just that kind of awkward, goofy, out of place guy.
Yeah,
he's obviously so fucking funny still.
He's kind of shat on his own legacy, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Because when was the last Steve Martin film you really loved?
This is it, you know.
Probably the start of a decline was probably Father of the Bride, I guess, was the last all right one.
Yeah.
I mean, we all love stuff like The Three Amigos, Man with Two Brains, and stuff like that. The Jerk is brilliant, that kind of stuff. Yeah, we love it.
Dead Men Don't Wear Plaid.
Dead Men Don't Wear Plaid is amazing. Absolutely brilliant. And he kind of went for that family movie dollar.
Yeah.
And he ended up just doing family movies.
Eddie Murphy.
I was about to say Eddie Murphy made exactly the same decision.
Vince Vaughn did the same thing with Christmas movies for a while.
He did, actually.
Yeah, he seemed to turn up in a lot of Christmas films. It's like, that's a weird choice, Mr. Dodgeball Man.
Yeah.
Please go back to doing Dodgeball style movies. You're so good.
Yeah.
I mean,
Mike Myers, Dodgeball too.
Mike Myers was the same.
Mike Myers has had a weird career. He will turn up and do a spate of films, then disappear again.
But from my understanding, I think he turned up in Inglourious Bastards.
Oh, really? Okay.
As like a bit part. Apart from that, he hasn't been seen in a film since Love Guru, which is a long time ago now.
Not very good by all accounts.
And apparently it's awful. Like, so awful.
Oh, yeah, because we did Wayne's World, and then there was a bit of a gap between the Wayne's World movies and Austin Powers.
Yeah, it's a good probably 6-7 years.
I imagine he's made most of his money from
again.
Shrek, to be fair.
Shrek, but
he probably doesn't need to work much because of that.
It's almost like he does a cluster of movies and drops out and then comes back when he's got a good idea again.
Maybe, yeah. Yeah, I think there's a bit of that anyway, because I think actors tend to shoot a few things at the time.
Yeah,
they do a few days on this, a few days on that. It's like and you see it when like Benedict Cumberbatch was in everything for 6 months and then disappeared for a year and then comes back.
I think sometimes
they all just happen to be released.
I noticed it most with Sam Worthington coming back to Avatar, because he was in Avatar.
Yeah,
he was in Clash of the Titans,
Terminator Salvation,
and he was in Terminator Salvation, all in really rapid succession.
Yeah, even some other ones as well.
Yeah,
but I do wonder, or is it like one studio sees, he's in that, he's done very well, maybe up the advertising budget of the other one?
Maybe, yeah.
I think that might be what it is.
I feel like Terminator would have had a decent advertising budget anyway. Yeah. You'd hope. Because there's no other way. I mean, to be fair, the best PR they had for that was Christian Bale being a dick.
I consider myself a Terminator fan, but it's pretty unique in terms of media franchises in that I'm something I'm a fan of, and I wish there was less of it.
Less is more, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I love the first movie, and I really like the second movie.
Yeah.
After that, it is a
very
mixed bag.
Hit and miss, yes.
The only one I think is underrated is Salvation.
I like Salvation.
I like Salvation because I think the glimpses you got of the future war in the first two movies are just so intriguing.
Yes.
You look at those little you see the hunter killers, you see the troops,
tanks.
and you're just like, there's stories to be told here. Tell me, I want to see this war movie.
Yeah.
My only complaint about it was how bright it was.
Yes.
When every time you'd seen the future war before,
it was all dark, and
I don't know whether it was at night.
Strike at night.
It kind of put me in mind of that Matrix thing. If they kind of block, even the Matrix, he says, don't they block
Scorch
out
the sky
to stop solar power working?
Yes.
So that's why I always wondered if that was why Future War was always dark.
Maybe, yeah.
And it's but it's time travel. You can do what you want.
This is true.
My only gripe with Salvation is that you had to accept that the third one happened.
Yeah, I will say this: the third one. There's one thing I will say in its defence is that the ending is fucking brilliant.
Yeah,
the fact that it's spoilers for those who haven't seen Terminator 3. We're doing you a favour, for the most part, at least. At the very end, when they realise that they've been led into a nuclear bunker because there's nothing they can do to stop Skynet. That's genius. Like, that whole thing, they're looking to sort of, we can stop it, we can bring it down. And the general has realised that there's nothing they can do, and he's just locked them away safe so they can go and, repopulate. Not repopulate the human race, but they can go and lead the resistance.
My problem with that ending is it overrides an artistic point of the first two movies.
In what sense?
Which is the point of the first two movies is the future is not set, there is no fate but what we make.
Yeah.
When the third movie reveals it to be the future is set, whoops, apocalypse.
Yeah, I mean, I'd have to admit I'd have to go back to be able to have any hope of rebutting that. But, so I won't. Yeah. So I'll give you that.
I don't think I can.
I liked Sarah Connor Chronicles. It was a shame that
the
first series was amazing. The second series was a bit wobbly, but ended on such a brilliant cliffhanger. I know the third series would have really taken off, and unfortunately it didn't. Genesis I would need to watch again because it was while I was watching it I kept flip-flopping going between I quite like this, I really like this, I'm not sure about this is turd, oh I quite like this, I'm not sure, turd, no, oh I quite like this bit.
I found it to be I probably would have liked it more, I think, Genesis, if they hadn't given away the big twist in the trailer. Yeah, that was the big thing for me, was like, that is, if you just sat on that, if you'd done a Star Wars on it and recut it to be like,
I actually,
maybe again, spoilers for Terminator Genesis, once again, you're welcome. The whole idea of John Connor being sort of a nanomachine hybrid, they could have done it in a way, they could have cut it in the trailer in a way that didn't make that immediately obvious, and they didn't, and they actually ended up giving it away immensely. And I was like, well, that is a really nice piece of storytelling you could have saved for the movie, and everybody would have got that. Fuck me, that's incredible.
My problem with the Genesis trailers is that I watched it and it just, I must admit, I didn't take that from watching the trailers.
Oh, really? Okay.
No, I watched the trailer and just thought, overt. No, literally, I just watched the trailer and thought, this is a bloody mess. This film sounds atrocious. It sounds like it doesn't know what it wants to be, and it's all over the place. One other thing, you felt like going, did you know that I knew that I could go back in time and go back in time for your back in time?
Watching the trailer, I got the same feeling I got watching the trailer of the prequel of The Thing, which is, this is a remake, but we're not saying it's a remake because we don't want to upset the fanboys.
Yeah, true. Yeah, because
fair play, I would have murdered them.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
And to be fair, it was shit as well.
Which one? Sorry.
The thing.
The thing, I've not seen it, but
I've heard it's all right.
I'm not really
it's okay, but
no, obviously it's not going to be as good as the first one.
What upset me? There were nice bits in it, because there are bits that it shows what happened, and bits of the damage you can see happening. You go, oh yeah, that's the bit where that hole in the roof happened there, and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And there was a lovely bit at the end because they actually end up on the spaceship. Spoilers for The Thing. You're welcome.
Yeah. I love it. We're doing like a public service spoilery.
If you haven't seen The Thing, stop now. I don't care if you're losing your virginity. Go and watch The Thing and come back.
Yeah. It's a better thing to lose your virginity.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I thought, Jesus, this has just been a slow, effortless grunt if you've been going on for this long.
Yeah, time to the music.
Well, my name is Blake and I'm here to say...
Bump, bump. I do find
things with S.
As I'm getting older, I used to just like, if a new thing came out in a series I loved, I would be all over it.
Right.
And regardless, I've seen all of the Friday the 13th movies just because I really like Friday the 13th. Yeah, I'll keep up with them. Why not? Yeah, they're all. It's my dad. I remember texting my dad saying I'm watching Friday the 13th part of 3, and the text message I got back was, "Is it one of the good ones?" And I replied, "Are any of them?"
Define good.
And I find as I've gotten older, I am getting pickier now.
Yeah.
Which is weird. Like I said, they're now making noises about another Terminator movie with supposedly with James Cameron and Hamilton back on board. And I'm just like, I'm not sure I'll bother. And it kind of hit me with the Blade Runner sequel is I can't get myself motivated to see it.
But apparently it's brilliant.
I've heard nothing but really, really good things about it, and I'm glad people like it, and I'm glad it's good. But I'm just kind of sitting there going, that was never a film I felt needed more.
Yeah.
So I just sit there going, it doesn't really interest me.
Like the first Matrix, almost.
Yeah.
You sit there going, that's the ending for the Matrix is perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, it did.
The way it is. It doesn't need anything else. It doesn't need anything further. It's so
my
good.
one is Highlander gets me.
Yeah.
Because that ends brilliantly.
It's
and
definitive.
Then sequel, TV series, sequel, comics, cartoon, spin-off to the TV series.
Oh, Jesus.
And of all the things, it didn't need sequels.
Yeah.
Imagine if those chances had been given to something like Big Trouble in Little China.
Yeah. Go for
That would have been amazing.
Yeah, I'd go for that.
Yeah, I'll be up for that. And that probably, you could
More
you could do a sequel
this.
to Big Trouble, and because it would just be another underground. Oh yeah, Jack Burton getting into more weird shit or something.
Jack Burton's just a great character.
Yeah, that's the thing. They could have if it was more successful, because I think that's half the problem at the end of the day. Would have been a sort of Jack Burton could have been a sort of almost like an Indiana Jonesy style character in a way. With that sort of high adventure style.
Do you know why Big Trouble crashed?
Indiana Jones?
No, it was Golden Child for Eddie Murphy.
Oh, yeah.
The fantasy comedy came out and didn't do well.
Didn't set the world on fire.
No, and so Big Trouble's advertising budget was slashed because they were like, well, it's kind of like an Eastern action comedy. Maybe that's not the right time for it.
Yeah. I see. So it became more cult as a result.
It built up an audience on VHS afterwards, but that's why it didn't get the chances.
It's very the definition of a cult film.
Yeah,
totally.
for sure. Technology I wish existed.
Some things keep the cast on track, but that defeats the concept of the show.
The self-driving cars in iRobot.
Rather than the Total Recall ones.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Okay, I mean,
who doesn't want Johnny Cab?
Yeah, fair enough. But the just self-driving cars that work correctly and don't just go over roundabouts because reasons.
I think we're missing a really obvious one on this thread. Lightsabers.
Yeah, lightsabers. I wouldn't trust myself with a lightsaber because I've seen myself drop a pen. And it's not just the way it's not the fact I drop it on the floor directly. It's that it goes flying through my fingers as it's going. And I know
it'll bounce on the bottom, won't it? And then just
in the event of a lightsaber, I'm losing a foot.
An elegant
next day at work, he looks like Vader in Rogue One. And just strapping bits on him before he can go.
Yeah.
Did you drop your pen, Rob?
I hate you.
Well done, Rob. An elegant weapon for douche.
Oh, that should
An
have
elegant
been.
weapon
That
for a
should have
douche.
been what Obi-Wan said on Mustafar.
Just in episode 4, it's the Jedi's lightsaber, a more elegant weapon, admittedly sometimes for a douche. Just for walking in episode 4, everybody.
What I told you is true from a certain point of view, which gets lampshaded, but is the worst retcon in history.
Yeah.
I would also love if that's how the actual. How Darth Vader became Darth Vader was actually he dropped his lightsaber and then tried to.
God!
He dropped his lightsaber, but tries to catch it and slips in the mud and falls into the volcano.
Christ, can you imagine the fan reaction if we'd sat through 6 hours of CG Jar Jar Binks based action to finally get to see Anakin become Darth Vader, and he drops his lightsaber
And he slips and falls into a volcano.
It's been one
with a slide
It's
whistle.
one and only time you hear John Williams play the car horn.
Yeah.
He plays it beautifully.
I will see your retcon of a certain point of view and raise you. I know. Somehow I've always known. Oh, it didn't stop you kissing my fucking face off on Hoth, though, you weird bastard.
Well, the kiss felt weird.
Yeah. I get it. You're trying to make Harrison Ford jealous.
Somehow, I've always known.
Because he'd be fucking.
Somehow, I've always known, which is convenient because George didn't.
It'd be amazing if that was Carrie ad-libbing.
Yeah, Carrie broke the fourth wall.
I've always known. Yeah. I remember seeing a treatment of this. How did this
Can't wear underwear in space.
I don't know. Maybe you can't. I've never been.
Gravity.
Yeah, never been. Have you?
You try going there, but you just turn up and you've forgotten your trousers.
Yes. Bloody teleport.
I
Scotty!
accidentally beamed my cock over to another planet.
I like the idea of a Babel fish in real life.
Yeah, that'd be awesome, wouldn't it? And actually, I think that's increasingly close to reality now.
Yeah, I've seen a few
things like that,
clickbaity type videos go past,
real-time
like
translation
that.
apps and stuff.
It's it seems like something that ever since we've had Google Translate shouldn't be too big a leap.
No, it's purely just the real-time aspect of it, I guess.
Have you ever seen Google Translate run through a camera?
Through a camera?
First time I saw it, I was working at an airfield, and we were working on a yak, which is a Russian plane, and we had
as opposed to the animal,
we had to work on the logbooks, but they were all in Russian.
Right.
Someone showed me, they pulled up Google Translate phone, shot it through a camera, and it translated it on the screen. I just thought that was insane.
It's ridiculous.
How far away can a babel fish be?
Well, that's it. Yeah.
I mean, if it comes as an actual fish or animatronic polar bear, then that's a boost.
Yeah. Or a real polar bear.
Yeah. We assume.
Yeah. Babel, that's a good one, actually, babel fish. I like that. So I'm going to put it to the audience, actually, because I think it's time. We've been going for quite a good. It's a good length.
How long are we going to wait for an answer?
Well, who knows? This is the last recording of the year, so until next year. We talked a bit about Christmas, so it tied in nicely. So if you have technology that you wish existed and you want to put it out there, maybe some, I don't know, off the top of my head, equipment that removes might bleed and noise gates.
On that note, can I do one more?
Yeah, you can talk normal volume. That's fine.
And kids, go out of the room if you're listening. I think the UN should club together and actually fund a Father Christmas.
Oh, okay. Would it be Santa from Futurama, though?
That's what I was going to say.
Get some money together. It doesn't that.
Father Xmas.
Each country could have a Father Christmas project where all kids get some sort of present, some sort of gift. Because tax some churches and the money's there, and just. It would be amazing. Yeah. Actually, it would be achievable.
Why can't Amazon fund it?
It's a good point.
Yeah.
They can get
tax money
for Church of Amazon.
They can get something to me in 2 fucking hours across the city. I find it hard to believe they can't get something to Botswana the same day.
Yeah, they do that stupid Prime in London, don't they?
Prime Now, it's called. They drive up, throw it at your door, and fuck off. Package delivered.
Stupid Prime.
Autobots.
God, if there's a name for our dimension, it's Stupid Prime, isn't it?
I don't know if we are the Prime Stupid.
I don't know.
There's a race of Sims above us that are just make them do a podcast.
Correct pronunciation for Stupid Prime is POTUS.
I've done we've recorded a podcast. Plus.
You've gained a skill in bollock talking. You can now loop back to the same anecdote within the hour.
I just like the idea of Amazon saying, we're now launching Stupid Prime.
Just like I say, they drive up to your door, turn around and fling it into the road.
Well, to be honest, I had one
overarm.
I didn't have a delivery the other day where it was literally they went, it's been delivered to you, and I came home and it was literally sitting outside my door.
Safe.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. It was just literally sitting on a plant pot outside my door, and I went, well, at least it's still here.
My favourite ever delivery hell story is a Yodel card that read, has been left in your safe place, and where it says details, it said on roof. So, yeah, I mean, fair enough. Nobody's going for that. Of course, they didn't reckon on Spider-Man being a criminal that day. Everybody keeps one.
Joe Jonah Jameson was right.
Maybe that's the episode title.
Yeah,
Stupid
fair,
Prime.
done. Yeah, I'll give up that one.
1 hour stupid delivery.
Yeah.
So if you've got any technology that you wish existed but doesn't, maybe Stupid Prime would be a thing you might like to see, you can write to us by emailing podcast@emotionally14.com with the title Stupid Prime. And maybe tell us your favourite technologies that you wish existed. Alternatively, you can reach out to us by finding us on Twitter @emotionally14. Facebook has a page, Emotionally14. No Instagram, we have our own, but no Emotionally 14 Instagram. I can't imagine it get used that much because generally I plug stuff anyway, so it's fine. And you can obviously find the website emotionally14.com. So this is a Crazy Train podcast. If you've enjoyed it and you wish to share it with others, we would be very grateful. You can share obviously via social media. If you find this on the website, there are buttons where you can do it at the bottom of each post. You can find our sister podcast, the E14 Gamecast, which is video games and tabletop on iTunes, as much like the Crazy Train, iTunes, Podchaser, Podbean,
Poddy Flod.
Stupid Pod.
Libsyn, Stupid Pod, YouTube. YouTube, there you go.
Stupid Prime.
Stupid videos. To be fair, you can find stupid videos on our YouTube page because, some fucking stupid cunt opened HeroClix for 30 days. So you can find us all about everything we do at emotionally14.com. Guys, where can people find you on social media between shows?
You can find me on Instagram on at Harmer the Appreciator. You can find me on Facebook if you can find me. And you can also find me on Twitter when I use it at fucksake Blake.
Nice. Brad?
You can search for Brad Harmer Barnes on Facebook. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at RealBradHB, and you can find my books North Sea Hunters and Tempest Outpost on Amazon.
Yes, you can. And in fact, you can go to Emotionally 14 and find those links to those very books. Yeah. Under the team page, there's a little bit all about Brad. Yeah. And underneath, it's got his books. You can go and buy them. It doesn't cost you any more, and we get a little kickback as well.
Yeah,
and obviously, so does Brad. So that's always nice.
Buy it through the stupid Amazon widget.
It is pretty stupid. Well, it's actually not that stupid a widget. I'm just using it wrong. So you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at RobWadeVision.
Pepcack Prime.
Pepcack Prime.
Yeah, can you order your book through Stupid Prime?
Yeah, they just lob it into a volcano.
Yes, you.
Yeah, they give it to a spider in the hopes it will make it someday.
I'm the last to find out this stuff.
So you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at RobWadeVision. I'm also part of the Talk Star Wars podcast, which is talkstarwars.co.uk. We are part of the Britpod scene, which is a British-based podcast collective sharing each other's shows, promotion, kind of cross-promotion, cross-reviews, cross-social media, the works. So you can find all about that at BritPodScene.com or by searching Britpod Scene on Twitter, either by using a hashtag or an account. I think both exist. I think both are set up. I feel like I'm missing something. What am I missing? No, I did mine. I haven't got any other projects besides.
Did you mention our store?
Oh no, I didn't. You're right. There you go. That's what it is. So you can now buy Emotionally 14 t-shirts and assorted paraphernalia by going to tpublic.com/store/emotionally14, where you can buy 4 designs currently in various different types. So it's t-shirts, hoodies, jumpers, tote bags, stickers. The stickers are pretty cool, actually. I'll see if I can find mine. But buy the Dream Big Blake t-shirt because I want somebody to buy it because Blake seems to need convincing.
I've almost bought it a couple of times.
Dream Big Blake.
It's not like my birthday's coming up or anything.
This is true. But I don't know if he'll get here in time. Can take a little while from the States. And you can also, as I mentioned before, in addition to Brad's books, you can also use the Amazon widget that's built into the website to buy absolutely anything on Amazon using Emotionally 14's.
Definitely my books.
Definitely Brad's books. You can buy Aaron's books if you choose to live your life that way as well. I kid. They're enjoyable reads and you should definitely check them out. But like I say, you can buy absolutely anything from Amazon and we'll get a little bit of love without it costing you any extra. So if you want to help us keep the lights on because, the running costs associated with this are not inconsiderable, then that's a nice way of doing it. However, it's still going to stay free for you. So I think that's it, isn't it? All right, cool. Well, thank you very much for listening to The Crazy Train, episode, I think, 58. Probably to be called Stupid Prime. Yeah. Who knows? We shall see. You'll find out. You'll find out in the episode title.
Have a stupid Christmas.
Have a
Christmas, there you go. We'll see you in 2018 for
yes,
more
indeed.
training.
So this is the last Crazy Train podcast.
Might be
April next year, yeah, 5 years, and and if I'm lucky, we'll get to 60 episodes, which is 12 a year.
Yeah, we need to up that, don't we?
26 years wouldn't be bad. 1 a month on average is not terrible.
It's not terrible.
Not great, but it's not terrible.
Let's level up, is what I'm saying.
There you go. Yeah, we'll get to 5 years. That'd be good. Get a long service award.
Reuse stupid things we talk about in the first episode.
Yeah. Sophus fucking Neil Buchanan. Not Sophus fucking Neil Buchanan.
Maybe we should make a special video where we visit the grave of Migraine Steve.
Yeah, maybe that guy. Poor man.
For some reason, someone's engraved Trash Wizard on it.
It's great. It looks like it's been just hacked out with a bit of chisel.
And we did carve a CV radio out of it.
It is. So thank you very much for listening to The Crazy Train. What's the sign off? I don't even remember.
Peace.
There you go.